Hi, welcome to Ned's Garden. Today we're going to be propagating dahlias so that we can have more flowers in the garden this season. I have some dahlias here that I planted, 3 tubers, 1, 2, 3, and they've been going in this pot for about 3 weeks. The nice warm weather and humidity has meant that they're starting to see some growth. And I'd like to create more plants, so what I'm going to do is cut off a little cutting right here from this stem and transfer it into a piece of rock wool so that I can create another pot of flowers. The first thing I'm going to do is take a sterile blade. You can either use isopropyl alcohol or a diluted bleach solution, and take this cutting right below one of the nodes. I'm going to do it on a horizontal angle right there, nice diagonal, so I have my little cutting. I want to minimize evaporation loss, so I'm going to cut off all but the top 2 leaves. And it's important that you don't use scissors in any of these cuts because it will pinch and basically create a not a very clean wound that could lead to infection in the plant. I'm going to dip this in some rooting hormone and then place it into a piece of rock wool that I have. And I've already made a nice hole there so that I can just insert it right here. And there's my little dahlia baby. I'm going to take this now, put it in some humidity, and make sure it has plenty of heat, not too much light, for about 2 weeks until I start to see some root growth out of the bottom. You can also put your cuttings in soil, just make sure it stays damp. But I really like rock wool because you can see the root development, and that'll help give you an idea of when you should plant this. See right here, this one's been going for about 2 weeks, and I can see some roots developing out the bottom. That tells me that I can move this into a pot and get it out into the garden. So, I've prepared this with some potting soil and a little bit of vermiculite, and I'm just going to make a little hole right in the middle, and I can put the rock wool straight into it. And I just want to make sure that this rock wool stays below the surface. Otherwise, it's the properties that make it soak in all of that water and keep the plant nice and moist will actually pull a lot of the moisture out into the air if that rock wool is exposed above the soil line. So, made a little hole, filled it back in, and I have another dahlia plant to enjoy this season. I'm going to give it a good water and just keep it somewhere not too sunny for about the next week, just to make sure it hardens off. Then, at the end of the season, once I have a big plant here, I might even be lucky enough to get another rhizome at the bottom that I can store in winter. And next year, I can have even more dahlia flowers. Thanks for tuning in. This is Ned's Garden. You can follow us on YouTube at Ned's Garden or on Instagram at Ned's Garden 69. Thanks.